Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Chairman, University of Lahore, Mr. Vaishrav, Honorable Rector, University of Lahore, Professor Dr. Mohammad Ashraf, Your Excellency, Consulate General, Chinese Consulate in Lahore, Shao Shini, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor for me to welcome you all to a very special day at the CPEC Center at University of Lahore. We are gathered here for a special announcement about instituting China Chair at the CPEC Center, along with the launch of my edited book titled China-Pakistan Economic Corridor Beyond 2030, A Green Alliance for Sustainable Development. All of you get a free copy today. I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to the Chairman Board of Governors, University of Lahore, Mr. Vaishrav, for his unwavering support and encouragement for this endeavor. And I'm also deeply appreciative of our Honorable Rector, Professor Dr. Mohammad Ashraf, whose inspiration has been pivotal in fostering the drive and commitment in all of us at University of Lahore necessary to produce quality research and publication. For his welcome remarks, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our Honorable Rector, University of Lahore, Professor Dr. Mohammad Ashraf.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Formally, I would like to welcome all the distinguished guests and the participants. His Excellency, Consul General, and other distinguished ambassador, and also my colleagues, Deans, Director, Assalamu alaikum. Very fine, good morning. First of all, I would like to present an overview of the University of Lahore, and I would like to show some of the glimpses, what university is doing and what sort of academic program is pursuing, and what is the status of university in the International Committee of Universities. University of Lahore was established in 2002. In fact, it was established in 1999, but the formal charter was given in 2002. And since then, we have been striving very hard, and with the great momentum which is being geared up by the management, and particularly I would like to compliment here the efforts of our worthy patron Rauf Saab, M.A. Rauf Saab, because he was the pioneer in coining the name of the university and also established the university in a very befitting manner, and with his vision, with his divine wisdom, we are now able to establish 11 faculties, which is the big contingent in terms of universities, the contemporary university, whether private or public sector university. We have split 11 faculty into 40 different departments, and we are currently conducting more than 4,000 courses, and there are in between 35,000 to 40,000 students, both graduate and postgraduates. Next. These are the number of faculty, 11 faculty. We have the biggest one, A-Light Sciences, then Arts and Architecture, Engineering, Information Technology, Languages, in fact, Pharmacy, Sciences, Social Sciences, Medicine, and Dentistry. Next, please. Every university or institution of higher learning, it aspires to hunt a slot in top 500 university of the world. And there are two entities, Times Higher Education and QS Ranking System, which are based in London, and they are doing, frequently the ranking of the university and also the scientists and other institutions. So Times Higher Education, which is the primitive one, and it has been conducting, and also they have established the database, and they have certain indicators, very specific indicators, by which they categorize the university. And last year, we were at 800, in the range of 800 to 1,000 in the world universities. And within Pakistan, we are second among private sector university and 13 overall, because the number of university nowadays I mean, if currently look at the status of the university, is over 265. So among 265, we have secured 13 overall ranking. Next, please. The second one is, this is also another system of ranking which is based on impact ranking. In fact, sustainable development goals, they have been taken as indicators of the ranking system. So both QS and Times Higher Education, they both are doing ranking based on SDGs. So based on SDGs, we are, the university impact ranking is overall 400 to 600. And in different categories and different indicators, we are among 100 to 200. Next, please. This is QS ranking, the second entity, which is meant for ranking of university. And we are within 950 to 1000, and we are growing every year. And still second, I mean, in private sector, and 10th overall within private public sector university of the Pakistan of the country. Next, please. This is very important segment of the university. I mean, I would say this is a promising feature of the university management, because we have been pouring in large sum of money in terms of to promoting research and development. We are putting in over 1 billion. You see the budget every year to promote our research and development, as already said by Dr. Rabia. And due to this, we have achieved so many milestones. Next, please. You know, last year, the total number of publications published in Web of Science and Scopus, that was almost 2,400. And this is a big number. And we have been able to got registered 7 patents and design in different countries, USA, Germany, China, and also in UK. Then currently we have submitted 30 novel products to IPO for registration purpose. And it will take, because their incubation period is almost 3 years, so they will process all the product and they will get reviewed from foreign reviewers. And if the reports are good, I mean the review reports are good, definitely they will be formally registered with the IPO. Next, please. This is the second promising feature. Not only I mean putting in large sum of money to our R&D portfolio, but we are also supporting the merit-based student, and also other student who are facing hardship. Next, please. This is the category of scholarship we are funding, generously, and I would like to acclaim the effort being made by the management of the university, that we have different category of scholarship: merit-based, kinship-based, need-based, disability-based, etc. Next, please. Accreditation is very important, as already because the prize by Mia Imran Masood Saab, he was just discussing with the distinguished members that we have different accreditation council, and for each subject we have a specific council. For example, for business we have NBAC, for computing NSAC, then National Technology Council, Pakistan Bar Council, Pakistan Council of Architects and Town Planner. We have 11 or 12 council, you see. Maybe Agriculture Council we haven't added yet. These are the number of council for different disciplines. Next. International affiliation. University, because internationalization is also a very important feature, because if we have to grow internationally and we have to get our university recognized at the international forum, so we have to get affiliation with top organization related to different disciplines. We are affiliated with the WHO and also WFME and many other, Medical Board of California, General Medical Council UK, and then several others. Next. Next, please. These are all international affiliation. I mean, different council, different organization, different entities, you see, which are very popular in their own domain. Accreditation by national regulatory body. We are accredited with the Punjab Healthcare Commission, College of Physician and Surgeon, CPS, then Punjab Blood Transfusion Authority, Pakistan Nuclear Regulatory Authority, Punjab Pharmacy Council, etc. And also with Punjab Environment Department and Environment Protection Department, etc. Next, please. These are few glimpses of the university student activities in sports, in other debates and competition, you see. So you can just go through all the slides. These are our services, so library, cafeteria, auditoriums, many halls, you see. And state of the auditorium, you see some of them. The sports facility, also gym, and there is a facility for football and hockey, you see. So it's an elevated turf. It's one of the wonders, I think, in the country. So this was just a few slides regarding the activity pursuits which we are undertaking at the University of Lahore. But regarding the book which is being launched today, China Pakistan Economic Corridor and Beyond 2030. The title is very important: Green Alliance for Sustainable Development. I was looking at why she has used green. This is very important, but because there is one chapter which is on environment. There are overall 6 chapters which comprise this book, and all are of multifarious nature. I mean, the scholars, the authors, they have put in lot of efforts and dedication to craft these chapters and giving data, I mean, in a very befitting manner. Meticulously, I mean, they have presented their data. You know, I have been involved in some of the projects related to CPAC and also BRI, Belt Road Initiative, because I was telling to His Excellency, the Consul General, because once we visited, I mean, the chairman of the Board of Governors and myself, we visited China and we went through, I mean, from Xi'an to Shanghai, visiting all the facilities and the institution, and also we signed some MOU with them. So I know that this CPAC is a very promising. It was confined to very few countries, but now I think it has been proliferated to 250 countries. And there are 2 roads. One is Silk Road, the primitive one. The other is the Sea Road. So both roads are being capitalized for developing the economy and also for linking different countries with China. I mean, the benefits are reciprocal. So all countries, they are getting benefit from, I mean, this binding, from this initiative. And I think all the chapters which have been delineated in this book, they are very important, they are very vital, and they have put in their finger, I mean, on very important issues. So I would like to acclaim, Rabia, your effort. I mean, very scholarly attainment. This is a very good document. And from my end and from the management of University of Lahore, congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. As the editor of this book, I am deeply grateful to Frederick Ebert Stiftung, Pakistan, which is led by Country Director Felix Kolbitz, who could not join us today, and Program Advisor Humayun Khan, who is here with us today, for taking up this project and finding alignment between the values of FES, promoting social justice, sustainable development, and global cooperation, and the vision that is laid out in this book. Their commitment to fostering dialogue and inclusive policy making has been instrumental in bringing this work to life. So thank you so much, Humayun, for being here and for funding this project and then publishing this book as well. I would also like to extend my gratitude to research assistants in Center for Security Strategy and Policy Research, Afnan Ghaffar, Askar Tahir, Ahad Ahmed Khan, for their meticulous research work, helping us getting all the footnotes right in bringing out this publication. And Syed Ali Zia Jafri, who is Deputy Director for CISPA, for fiercely and ruthlessly editing this book after I had finalized the copy editing. So thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, when we speak of CPEC, we often speak of infrastructure, trade routes, and economic opportunities. But this book takes the conversation further, beyond the numbers and the technical details. It pushes us to consider the deeper and more profound questions of our time. How do we reconcile economic growth with the pressing demands of sustainability? How do we ensure that development benefits not just a select few, but every citizen of Pakistan, every community across the landscape of Pakistan and beyond? This volume brings together insights from 6 distinguished authors, each addressing a critical aspect of the CPEC narrative. Ambassador Nagmana Hashmi, who could not join us today but was with us in the Islamabad launch of this book, revisits the historical and geopolitical significance of CPEC, posing questions about its future trajectory, and is the first chapter in this book and sets the stage for the rest of them. Dr. Hassan Daud Burt, thank you so much for being here, focuses on the policy lessons for developing green special economic zones and has an excellent chapter in this book. Dr. Asif Amin, who's my colleague in CISPA at University of Lahore, delves in the environmental dimensions of CPEC, examining ecological trade-offs with, the trade-offs that we face here in Pakistan. We have Professor Yan Chan, who is joining us online today. He explores CPEC and how it can synergize with UN Sustainable Development Goals. We have a chapter from Dr. Mariam Siddiqui. Thank you so much for being here with us from UMT, analyzing the challenges and opportunities in transforming CPEC into a green alliance, highlighting the complexities of the green transition, something that we don't talk about much. And lastly, our Chinese professor is Chang Xiaoyu. My apologies for mispronouncing. Provides a global perspective, positioning CPEC as a potential model for sustainable development, urging us to rethink how large-scale infrastructure projects can be designed for the future. I want this launch not to just be a celebration of publication of a book, but let it be a beginning of a deeper, more engaged dialogue about what it means to truly develop as a nation. And let it be a moment where all of us, stewards of our country's future, take a step forward in shaping a Pakistan that is resilient, that is prosperous, and that is green. So thank you so much once again for being here and to all the contributing authors of this book. I would now like to invite Humayun Khan Program Advisor Frederick Ebert Stifton for his remarks.
Thank you. Professor Dr. Mohammad Ashraf, Rector, University of Lahore, Honorable Mr. Arif Rauf, General Board of Governors, University of Lahore, Excellency Council General, Mr. George Yuan, People's Republic of China, Lahore, Dr. Rabia, the Dean and the editor of the book, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor Beyond 2030, Green Alliance for Sustainable Development, Ambassador Shamshad Saab. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning and a very warm welcome to each one of you. It is a matter of great pride and immense satisfaction for us and the Frederick Ebert Stifton Pakistan office to be part of this significant event. The launch of the book, and also I'm very honored to be part of the launching of the China chair at the University of Lahore. This book that we are launching today is the second launch. We had the first launch in Islamabad. Represent not only just an academic contribution of FES and its partner, but it's a forward-looking vision for the future sustainable development of the region. I would like to express our deepest gratitude from FES Pakistan to Dr. Rabia, the editor of this outstanding work. Dr. Akhtar, your dedication, intellectual rigor, and commitment to this project have been nothing short of remarkable. Thank you very much. Your extensive research and leadership in bringing this book and together with diverse perspectives have resulted in a publication that will undoubtedly serve as a key reference for policymakers, scholars and all those interested in the evolving dynamics of China-Pakistan economic corridor. I also wish to extend a heartfelt thank you to all the esteemed authors who contributed, Dr. Hassan Albert, and Pastor Nirmala, other contributors who have joined us one night, for their various intellectual input. Each of you have added a significant value for providing critical insight and analysis that will collectively enrich our understanding of the CBEC, particularly in the context of sustainable development. Your work will surely inspire further dialogue and action in the years to come. And I also would like to express our sincere appreciation for University of Lahore for their unwavering support in launching this book. The collaboration between FES, Pakistan and University of Lahore has always been of mutual respect and shared objectives. Special thanks to our FES team back in Islamabad and my country director who is now in India on another project. And also special thanks to each member of our team who worked tirelessly to ensure that every detail was attended to, from the conceptualization of this event to this execution, although most of the work is done by Dr. Radha. Your professionalism and your teamwork was truly commendable, and I'm proud to be part of this team. Thank you again, and I look forward for a fruitful discussion that this publication is undoubtedly going to generate. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Humayun. It was a pleasure working with you and your team. We are doing this a bit differently. Normally at book launches, you would hear people review the book and add some embellishment to it or criticize it.
So
but normally, that's the norm at the book launches. But because this is an edited volume and it has 6 authors, so we divided these authors into 2 launches, and authors never get to speak at their own book launches. So we wanted to give floor to our Chinese contributors who joined us online, as well as some authors who are joining us here who could not be part of our Islamabad launch as well. So we will begin by giving the floor to Professor Dr. Yan Chan. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you well. Actually, I would say from the very beginning of this invitation for writing a chapter from this book, reminds me of my city, Xuzhou, we are actually working on, which had been transforming itself from a kind of industrially pollution-ridden city into a green realization, which embraces the future outlook that embodied in President Xi Jinping's vision, which says in the very famous quote, 金山玉水金山就是金山银山. Rain and clear waters and mountains are actually invaluable assets, or literally means the gold and silver mountains. There's a region in my city has been heavily explored as a coal mine, but has been transforming in the past 2 decades into a national wetland park. It's called Panna Lake in the Jiawu district. And this story has been witnessed by the 2 generations of my city in the past 2 decades, which I personally experienced and has been added to some extent, that which future of the city was deemed as a very blooming in the 1990s when I was a middle school student. I was, along with my peers and my parents at the time, was actually preparing our generation to be living in a desperate situation by looking, hopefully, for the next generation. Somehow, we didn't expect such dramatic changes through the help of capital, technology, and also important the will of the leadership and the people to transform my city, Xuzhou, the gray, into Xuzhou, the green. So with this kind of emotion, I dedicated my writings to this book, and I examined the very theme and designated slot of the chapter by aligning the sanitarianism, the CPAC, and also the SDGs of the UN, to see how these 2 ideas, these 2 visions can join together and collaborate into building Pakistan, in building the partnership for a brighter future for those countries. And I see a bright future there. As trained a historian, I was studying history, work history, back in colleges. I kind of feel that a lot of people are actually saying that China has managed to triumph in terms of industrialization by achieving what the West has accomplished in 200 years. In China, we have managed to accomplish that in 40 years. I would say that through CPAC, through the BRI, Pakistan and the rest of the world, which are partnered with China in BRI, can manage to even shorten the space to realize a sustainable goal for their own country and whole world in less than 40 years. So this is a genuine wish, I believe, not only myself, but on behalf of my colleagues and also the people of China, to wish to say that to embrace the wishful and realizable future of Pakistan through massive influx of capitals and technology transfers, and most importantly, again, by the will of people who aspire to embrace a better future. And last, I want to say that thank you very much again for your wonderful management and editing for this book. I'm happy to see that my works in print. And last but not least, I really like the cover photo of this book, the beautiful, breathtaking view of the water world. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Yan, and for your contribution as well. We will now move to Dr. Chang Kiao. Are you here with us?
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It was my honor to share my view of points with you today about CPAC and the friendship between China and Pakistan. And it is my honor to contribute to this wonderful book, which has been published recently. And also, I was so impressed by the introduction here by our Pakistani friends at Lahore University. And considering this book, I think it is a very huge progress to rethink about the significance of the CPAC. Because during the past decade, with the construction of the Belt and Road Initiative, people only think about CPAC from a geopolitical perspective, especially some neighbor country in this beautiful subcontinent. They always portray our friendship from a very different and sometimes very tricky perspective. But this book really offers a very good perspective and understanding of CPAC to the world with a significant contribution of the SDGs and how CPAC development can match up the SDG and the SDG goals. This is very insightful and also with very great meaning for all of us to see. CPAC is not just only about infrastructure, but how much this excellent project has changed the people's lives and also the environment and everything in both countries. For us, for the Chinese, it is a window for all of us to understand the society and the beautiful people of Pakistan, and also we get access to information about this country, this beautiful country, our iron brother, from their different perspective. And the CPAC brings us not only something about Belt and Road, but a further vision of development for the two sides. And especially this year is the 37th anniversary of our official diplomatic relation, which is quite remarkable for all of us. And I want to really show my sincere thanks to the editorial team and the University of Lahore, which is a very excellent university in Pakistan. And I think we are going to have to boost closer ties and cooperations between the two sides, between Chinese universities and the Lahore University. I hope we can do more work in future and also to promote especially more academic cooperation between the two sides, because this is very important to portray a different roadmap of development, especially under the structure of the Belt and Road Initiative, because in the current world, it is not easy to find a solution to how to do a consistent development, developing a sustainable development. This is very important to think for us to think about. And also, I want to show my special thanks to Ms. Rabia Akhtar, and she has really made us a great work today, and also all the colleagues at Lahore University. And we are expecting more cooperations in the bilateral ties between the two sides. And thank you very much today, and I hope we can achieve more in the near future. And I want to send my best wishes to my Pakistani friends. And shukriya, Team Pak Dosti Zindabad. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. Shaheen, for your excellent chapter. We will now move to Dr. Hassan Dagbad. Can you please upload his slides?
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Excellency, we meet again. Also, Vice Rupsa, you're doing wonderful work. This is my first time to your great university, and the vibes. I was received by an Afghani student, so that in itself reflects how cross-culturally you are moving, and that's the best part. Besides all the publications and everything that every university does, I think the cross-cultural aspect is extremely important and congratulations.
Thank you.
I would also like to thank Rabia. I've had many bosses in my life, very difficult ones, but she by far was on top. And her inspirational email that she sent to me, and I said yes for this chapter. I never realized the challenges of timelines and novelty. The biggest part in this was the novelty aspect. So really thank you for that. And Humayun, thank you FES for supporting us. Humayun himself is a great researcher of DRI. He's done a lot of research. We've done together, traveled to China several times and did some work on this. So I'll start my chapter, which is about policy lessons for developing environmentally friendly SCCs. And I in this chapter echoes Rabia's point of truly developing as a nation. Because I believe that every developing country has the potential to grow dynamically, but in phases, not immediately, in phases, and from a middle income country become a high income country. And I truly believe that. And I think the biggest method for achieving that is through incremental approach of special economic zones. So therefore, when investors come, and I deal with investors every day, they're looking at profits, policy continuity, utility-related waste, gas, electricity, roads and infrastructure. And this is how but I think overall globally, the main drivers have been technology, trade liberalization, free capital movement, advances in communication, and therefore, in the recent past, post-COVID, I think the challenge and which you would read this chapter to learn is that from a globalization perspective, His Excellency, the world is moving towards a localization, a local perspective of how to approach the world and the globe. And I think the near-shoring and the friendly shoring investment is very critical, and Pakistan need to make more friends. We are close to one of the biggest economies, and make perhaps more friends for them to invest in Pakistan. I think for me, I think China is in the forefront of driving this development, and for anything that is happening green in the region and beyond, I think the Global Development Initiative is the pillar for how the future would look like. Next, please. In this book, I have highlighted that special economic zones have played a pivotal role in taking China to where it is. In China, they are very special. I wish they were half as special as Pakistan. So I think for us, we should make our economic zone. I won't call them special economic zone for now. Make our economic zone specials to be termed as special economic zones. And I think the way forward is quite easy. Just an incremental approach is required. Next, please. I think learning from China, China has done it in 3 stages. The first stage was, looking at even there were hardly any interpreters available in some of the cities, Shanghai and on the eastern coast. But from there, they graduated, taking garment, electronics to the second stage, where now Malaysia and Thailand and even Laos is working on some of the branded merchandise, taking Chinese investment there, creating that pull factor and moving towards the third stage, which I've spoken about in this chapter about the green SEZs, which uses renewable energy, energy efficiency, and circularity in elements in terms of circular economy and bringing in automobiles. And we've just had good news about BYD. I met the chairman of HAPO also recently, or I congratulated him for that. I think more such investment is required where productivity, innovation, and strengthening of skill development is required, and we need support of China. Next please. So again, China did moving. हम पाकिस्तान में ईस्ट कॉरिडोर वेस्ट कॉरिडोर की डिबेट से निकल ही नहीं. What China did was starting from the east coast and then gradually moving towards the Yangtze River, moving towards the coastal economic belt, and now Xinjiang is developing, and that is in itself is the way. So I think we should get out of this, for economic reasons, get out of politics and perhaps focus on where the natural endowment lies and then invest in those areas, and this is what my chapter is about. Next. The challenge again for us, especially in university, the challenge is that in China they build in 9 hours a complete railway station with 1,500 workers. यहाँ पे तो productivity का जो हाल है वो हाल है और रमजान में और कम हो जाता है. So I think that aspect is perhaps extremely important for us to learn. We need to learn from China. We need their support in this, and this is what my chapter would speak about. Next, please. And this is China is growing the trio of electric vehicles, solar panels, lithium, fundamental approach, and I think some of the raw materials that we have, and if we just build one SEZ, take their support, build the security apparatus around it, that is all what we need. We can't have 9 the time as actually spoken about. So could you go to the last slide? I will not speak more about China and the work that they. I think on the FDI opportunity, just stay here. No, next. So where we want to be through the Chinese experience, political stability, pragmatic leadership, policy continuity, industrial speed, and productive HR. But I think what we need is also to have hard and soft infrastructure. We have the resources for this. We should actually have very good PSGP around that. अगर पूरी PSGP से आप एक स्पेशल इकोनॉमिक जोन नहीं बनाते तो प्लानिंग मिनिस्ट्री को बंद कर देंगे. PPP models for doing this. We speak about PPP model every day, every hour. All bureaucrats speak about this. They have zero idea of how PPP works, and they have no intentions to improve this. Pursuing government-guided market operations, fully leveraging a country's comparative advantage, and we have huge comparative advantage, including lovely youngsters who, University of Lahore and elsewhere. And I think, lastly, real and not rhetorical ease of doing business. We've been speaking about ease of doing business. We've been speaking about making tall claims. I think that was all rhetorical. I think we need enduring and real ease of doing business. And this is how this book speaks about. What I would have recommended at the end, don't give us 9 or 10 or 11 SEZs. We've been speaking about 37. When we went in 2016 to China, we said 37. They said, go with 1. We said, no, we have political economy. We need 9, at least 9, 1 in each province. And today, I think Chinese have proven us wrong because even 1 cannot. So just give us 1, and this book chapter tells you how to make. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. I would now like to invite Dr. Asif Amin for his opening remarks.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rabia. Ninhang Grisha, Jintan Lai Lai Mohammed Shushan, Mohammed Lunkash, Shishan. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, and my colleagues, thank you so much for being here. First of all, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude and appreciation to Dr. Rabia. Her vision and leadership have been instrumental in bringing this whole project into life. Her editorial prowess is evident throughout the book. And I would also like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to all the authors who put tireless efforts in writing their chapters and contributing to this wonderful project. This book, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor Beyond 2030, the Green Alliance for Sustainable Development, offers an in-depth understanding of one of the most significant infrastructure projects, which is the flagship project of Belt and Road Initiative. This book details the project's past achievements, current challenges, and future aspirations, with a strong emphasis on sustainability and green development. In my chapter, The Green Dimensions, Environmental Considerations of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, I have looked at the environmental impacts of China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. This chapter discusses both potential environmental benefits and significant risks associated with this large-scale project. I would like to mention here that since we have gone to infrastructural development, our carbon emissions have tripled. So it's something very serious. Pakistan has been, in top 3 for the last 3-4 years in AQI, Air Quality Index. To conclude, I would like to say that this book stands out as a significant contribution to the literature on international development, infrastructure, and sustainability. This book undoubtedly serves as an essential resource for researchers, policymakers, and anyone interested in the future of sustainable development in the context of large-scale infrastructure projects. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Asif, for an excellent contribution. And our last author for today, Dr. Mariam Siddiqui from UMT. Over to you.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. I just want to make a quick correction. I'm from Pakistan Navy War College. Sorry. Okay, it's okay.
My apologies.
To begin with, I wish to convey my deepest gratitude to Rabia. Her progressive leadership and enlightened approach has been pivotal in consolidating timely, thorough, and insightful research on the sustainable futures. The excellence of her editorial work is evident throughout the book, and her dedication to this endeavor guarantees that it is not only informs but also inspires future dialogue and initiatives for sustainable development in Pakistan. I would also like to convey my heartfelt acknowledgement and appreciation to all the distinguished authors who have contributed to this book. In fact, each chapter reflects your profound grasp of the complex aspects of CPAC and its potential to foster sustainable development. The book, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor Beyond 2030, undoubtedly offers an extensive examination of the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, a landmark infrastructure initiative of our time. It delves into the project's past achievements, present challenges, and future objectives, with a strong emphasis on sustainability and growth. The book serves not just as an evaluation of the progress made, but also as a call to action for policymakers, stakeholders, and international community to steer CPAC towards becoming a global model for sustainable development. The chapter which I have contributed, examined the challenges and opportunities towards the transformation of CPAC into a green alliance. With respect to challenges, I have examined the environmental concerns like pollution, deforestation, alignment with sustainable development goals, and the demand of technological adaptation. The main aspect of the chapter which I have tried to highlight is the potential of CPAC to change the existing norms and can make CPAC into a green alliance. In order to transform, the green financing is urgent and very important. The green investments can create employment opportunities in every aspect related to climate change. In fact, the green CPAC has a potential to induce sustainability and resilience in the integration of economy. In the end, to conclude, I would like to say that this book significantly advances the discourse on international development, infrastructure, and sustainability. It is set to become an invaluable resource for researchers and anyone concerned with the future of sustainable development. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Mariam, and for a great contribution to the work. I would now like to invite just a couple of comments from the floor. We have with us Ambassador Shamshad Ahmed Khansa, who does not need an introduction, has been Pakistan's foreign secretary in some of the most critical years of Pakistan's history, and has had incredible contributions to Pakistan's foreign policy, and has a keen eye and been looking at CPEC and its development, its evolution. So, sir, please share a few words with us.
Thank you, Raja. Well, my first word has to be one of felicitation to the University of Lahore and Professor Rabia Akhtar, and if I may add also FES, Mr. Kamran, for such a wonderful work they have done by bringing out this valuable book on China-Pakistan Economic Corridor beyond 2030. Well, personally, my association with the CPEC goes back to the year 2013, when President Xi Jinping had visited Kazakhstan and Indonesia, two destinations of Asia where he launched the Belt and Road Initiative, which then later on was expanded into, apart from Belt and Road Initiative, Marine Road Initiative. I remember in 2013 I was invited to address the National Defense College in Islamabad. And I had described this project, CPEC, as more important than Pakistan's nuclear program. And I had suggested that it should be pursued on the same lines as we had pursued our nuclear program. Well, we had already become a nuclear power, and now I insisted that CPEC must move ahead as a kind of bulwark of China-Pakistan cooperation for the benefit of the peoples of this region. Well, I'm glad that Pakistan, despite all the handicaps and weaknesses that we suffer, because initially this process had started with the construction of Gwadar Port in the early part of this century, during General Musharraf's time, and for several years Gwadar remained totally unattended, because we didn't even launch the port for several years. And finally we managed to operationalize it with China's help. And I also remember in 1970, President Bhutto, when he was president after the dismemberment of the country, he visited Washington. He had mentioned to President Nixon that we would want Gwadar Port to be developed. Well, the Americans listened to this very carefully, but they did nothing about it. And here comes China, when they realized the importance of Gwadar, and they built a modern port in this part of the world, which is a bridgehead now among many regions of Asia. So now this, in the 2018, I remember I was privileged to be chairing a think tank, Lahore-based think tank, Lahore Center for Peace Research, LCPR, and Dr. Raghav is sitting here. So we worked together, and I was invited to China in 2018, and I spent about 2 weeks with Fudan University in Shanghai. I was asked to write a paper on China-Pakistan relations in the context of CPEC. So my paper, I have sent a copy of my paper to Dr. Rabia Akhtar to be used for the benefit of university students and faculty members. What I want to emphasize here in brief is that unfortunately in Pakistan we tend to misunderstand and misrepresent the realities. From the very beginning, CPEC has been dubbed as a road construction project. It has nothing to do with building of roads. CPEC is essentially a concept of harmonization of policies, multidimensional harmonization of policies among countries of the region. And it is not confined to Pakistan and China. Of course, they are the main beneficiaries, but it is for the benefit of the regions around this whole region. So this book will certainly serve the purpose. And here I may also mention about my friend, Consul General Shiran, that he has been here now for, I think, for quite a number of years, and he has done great work in bringing the two countries together, making this relationship very strong, and we are privileged to have a diplomat of this caliber serving the cause of China-Pakistan relations. And this, in this context, if I may also mention here that I was also designated as ambassador of Pakistan to China in 1996. It happened when I had just returned from Iran after serving 2 assignments as ambassador in Iran, as Secretary General of Economic Cooperation Organization, ECO, and as ambassador to South Korea. So I returned after 9 years, returned to Islamabad. And then suddenly the government of Benazir Bhutto was dissolved and a caretaker government was formed, and the foreign minister asked me that he would like to send me out as ambassador. Where would I like to go? I said, sir, my first preference will be China. This was my dream posting. And he said, you got it. So I got ready to go to China, and within a week, I was about to leave for China. When, while driving, my driver driving me to my office, my driver told me that, sir, I hear that you are becoming foreign secretary. I said, you are telling me I am becoming foreign secretary? I don't know. So I reached my office, I left my briefcase there, and I rushed to Lahore, because newly elected Prime Minister was based in Lahore at that time. He had not yet taken over, Mr. Nawaz Sharif. So I came to Lahore and located the man who was setting up his team. So I asked him that this is what my driver tells me. He said he has told you the truth. He said the Prime Minister had mentioned you by name for this post as Foreign Secretary. I said, for God's sake, save me from this posting, because I am anxious to go to China. So that was my preference. So then I returned to Islamabad, and when Nawaz Sharif took oath, the same day I received a call from my green light. That's the direct line between the Foreign Secretary and the Prime Minister. So he said, Shah Sahab, मैं Nawaz Sharif बोल रहा हूँ. मैंने कहा जी सर. कहते I hear you don't want to work with me. And now this was very strange for a professional. I said, no sir, the reason is that I'm going to China, and the Chinese will misunderstand if you change my posting, because they are looking forward to welcoming me in China. He said, can I expect that you become a member of my team? How could I say no? So I said, sir, if that is your decision, fine. So that's how I became Foreign Secretary. But I can tell you that as Foreign Secretary, I worked for China-Pakistan relationship more than I would have done as Pakistan's ambassador to China, because these were the crucial years, 3 years, 1997 to 2000, when things were happening. well, I negotiated a peace deal with India. I also was instrumental in Pakistan's neutralization in the context of which I visited China. So Chinese involvement was there in every respect. Even when we were talking to Indians, Chinese were encouraging us for peace in the region. They were always supportive of Pakistan-India relationship. Then the nuclear tests, we conducted nuclear tests in response to India. And I went to China, and Chinese, like good, sincere friends, had warned us that you will have to pay a big price. Difficulties will be there. And that's what, in fact, the Army Chief at that time, General Karamat, told us when I was making a presentation in the Defense Committee to the members that now or never is the challenge for us. We have to test. Then I get a slip from the Army Chief, General Karamat. He gives me a slip written in hand that Shamshad, don't insist. We can't afford it. So he had an approach. I read it and I put it in my pocket and I continued with my presentation. So I insisted that we must test. And we tested. The fact is that big decisions have to be taken, and there is nothing more important than a country's own survival as an independent state. So that's what we did. So CPEC, as I said earlier, is now more important than our nuclear capability. It is a challenge for the leadership in Pakistan. The Chinese has been throughout supporting and strengthening the CPEC operation. Unfortunately, there have been problems here because we have not been able to designate the right people to operate it. From the very beginning, we thought that it is only for construction of roads. So the rulers, they have been telling the Chinese that build up this road for us, this road for that. They thought this is CPEC. CPEC is an idea. It is not a road project. The idea is to bring together not only China and Pakistan, but all countries. Now they number probably more than 60, 65 countries. To bring them together in terms of infrastructures, in terms of trade, in terms of investment, in terms of people-to-people context, in terms of coordination of policies, in multiple ways. And we don't understand here in Pakistan the real concept of these things. So that once we understand the importance of CPEC in that term, perhaps things will change. Unfortunately, till now, that stage has not come. It is still far. Thank you. But I will conclude by reading two, जिसको कहते हैं शेर. President Xi Jinping came to Pakistan in 2015. Originally, he was coming 2014, but because of the Imran Khan's Dharna, the visit was postponed and he came in 2015. और उन्होंने जहाज से हमें एक पैगाम दिया था पाकिस्तान के लोगों को, और उसमें उन्होंने कहा था शजर ऐसी मोहब्बत के लगाएं, शजर ऐसी मोहब्बत के लगाएं, पड़ोस के दामन में भी फल लगे. कि ऐसा दरख्त हो कि पड़ोस के दामन में भी फल जाए. उसके साथ ही उन्होंने कहा था दिल के आईने में है तस्वीर यार. ये शी जिनपिंग ने उर्दू में पढ़ के शेर बोला था. दिल के आईने में है तस्वीर यार, जब जरा गर्दन झुकाई देखी. ये है. So thank you very much. There is an ancient Chinese verse. May you live in interesting times. May you live in interesting times. We are indeed living in interesting times, which today are never more relevant than our times. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. I would like to invite Ambassador Shahid to say a few words. Over to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for this opportunity. My compliments to you, first of all, for producing this book and under the leadership of Vice Chancellor. I would have liked, Rabia, I would have liked to see today some of the policy makers invited to this event. Because really they should know what is the feeling, how is it that intellectuals like yourselves feel about the whole issue. The point that you have made, sir, very valid observations. China's experience, we should learn from China's experience. You quoted political will, you quoted pragmatic leaders, you mentioned consistency of policies. Sadly, we lack all of it. So I would have liked, just a suggestion, I would have liked in the future, whenever you hold such an important get together, do invite one or two policy makers, and you know what I mean. They should be there to listen to you, My own association with China, unfortunately, regrettably, has not been direct. But in my last posting as High Commissioner to India, I got to learn a lot about how the others feel towards CPEC, towards Pakistan-China relations. And it should not come as a surprise to us. Because we should be prepared for that. Why are we continuously saying that this is happening, that is happening? Because this is the rule of the, this is how nations play their games. So we should brace ourselves for that. And we have to put our own house in order. We have to be resilient. We have to take the measures, the right measures, where we can withstand all such onslaught on our relationship with our best relationship with the country. There are elements, there are entities, there are countries. I've talked only about India because I've served there. There are others also who do not want CPEC to progress the way that it should. We have entered the second phase of CPEC. I think at our own end, we should also not be overambitious. We should only seek targets. We should only seek projects which are doable. Forget the desirable for the time being. And only then, and there is a lesson for us to learn and to unlearn from the first decade of the CPEC. What is it that we need to, the course correction is essential. The points that have been made here, the book, my only question is anybody listening? I'm afraid no. This is an excellent, I've just glanced through it. It's an excellent, presentation by all these friends who are sitting here. And I hope this will be sent as a synopsis or a book to people who should be reading it. Efforts will continue to derail the process, but we should not be deterred by that. We should continue, we should stay the course, and yes, we must learn from China's experience. Is there a desire to do that? Sadly, I don't see that. आपका जो point है, आपने जो बात की थी, शमशाद साहब ने मेरे senior हैं, मेरे foreign secretary हैं, इन्होंने शेयर कहा तो हमें भी एक नमन का शेयर है, कोई शहर के लोग भी जालिम सा, कोई सालों भी मरते हैं। आप दूसरों को तो ब्लेम करें, लेकिन हमारे ऊपर भी तो हमारी भी तो जिम्मेदारी है। We are also responsible for so much that is not moving in the right direction, and this is all that can be done provided there is the first point that you made, political will. So I'll end at that, and thank you very much once again.
You've given, list of very practical recommendations at the end of this book. And once we launched it in Islamabad, we've given it to policymakers. And like you said, we shouldn't be deterred, right? So as academics, we should continue to write, we should continue to publish and disseminate this in the hope that somebody will read, somebody is listening. So that's the spirit that I don't want to lose. So thank you so much. Last comments from the floor, Ambassador Mansoor.
Thank you very much. I am also grateful to the University of Lahore West Ruksa, Dr. Rabia Ayub, for inviting us, counselors and counselors. I am also grateful to University of Lahore West Ruksa, Dr. Rabia Ayub and your team for inviting us for this important book launch ceremony. It's a good opportunity once again to see our friend Counselor Shirin. And I have also, I'm lucky that I got the opportunity to connect with Pastor Shamshad after a long time. I didn't know that he is also coming to this event, so it was really good. Now, we have these papers in this, these essays, these papers, chapters in this book, and the discussion here has been as to how CPEC 1 has made significant, has provided significant opportunities in terms of infrastructure, energy growth, economic opportunities. But there remains one goal, there remains one challenge which is important, and that is how to make it sustainable, how to bring sustainability to the process. One of the ways you have already identified in this that going green, an alliance for green development, sustainable development. But I think one more important thing that should underlie the process is how the CPEC or China-Pakistan economic cooperation generally relates to the people, how a common Pakistani looks at China-Pakistan economic opportunities or CPEC, and similarly how a Chinese citizen looks at them. And that is a goal, I think, where our effort should be towards making tangible progress. There are two observations. Number one, for past 1 year or so, I have been part of an academic university. I am heading BNU Center for Policy Research. I have a lot of interaction with students, youth of Pakistan, with academia, with faculty members, and there is a positive trend. People, academics, youth in particular, they want to develop linkages with China. They want to develop linkages with Chinese education system. They want to develop linkages with Chinese university. They want to develop linkages with Chinese think tanks and other research centers. And I think the same is the kind of trend could be seen when we see so many eminent speakers from China joining us online or visiting our institutions and universities whenever such opportunities arise. So I think focus of the two states, policy makers have to be on providing opportunities for enhancing these linkages between youth in particular, between cultures of peoples of two countries, between cultures of the two countries, between students, between educationists, between sports people, between artists. I think that will bring a phenomenal change. And the second observation is, as Shamshad Sahab has also pointed, CPEC should not be seen as just an infrastructure, concrete road project. It should be seen as an idea, as a concept. And we have to see its future in a broad horizon. And for that, we have to explore as to how it has to connect with the region, it has to connect first with our neighbors and then beyond. I have spent many years in diplomacy with Afghanistan, and China, Pakistan, Afghanistan have a trilateral forum also, and we have spent years and years on seeing as to how CPEC's linkages can be established with Afghanistan. So far we have not been able to develop a ground of convergence where, we can see the practically CPEC's extension to Afghanistan. But I'm not just confining it to Afghanistan. I think it is to our other neighbors, Iran and other countries in South Asia. So we have to look at CPEC and China-Pakistan economic cooperation in a broader, forward-looking view. We have not yet gone through the chapters. We have whatever our feedback is, our evaluation is, our assessment is, our comments and suggestions are shared with please. But thanks once again for inviting us.
Thank you so much for all the valuable comments. We will now proceed with inviting Chairman Board of Governors, University of Lahore, Mr. Vaishrav, for his special announcement.
Thank you, Dr. Rabia. Thank you very much. Excellency, Chinese Consul General, Mr. Sheri, Ambassador Shamshad Saab, Dr. Moeed Yusuf, in hiding, sir. Okay. Imran Masood Saab, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, scholars, faculty members, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum. I take a great pride and privilege today in announcing establishment of China Chair at the University of Lahore. And I think we probably are the second private university after Beacon House National University that's announcing. And I take this liberty to say that Dr. Moeed, we should try working on this endeavor together because this effort would be, as required, would be so big that two universities coming together probably can achieve a lot in this. So when I was informed today that you've already done it before us, I thought I should congratulate you. The China Chair at University of Lahore is designed to bring the finest minds from Chinese universities and research institutions to our campus. We will be welcoming leading professors, researchers, and think tank experts from various Chinese universities and organizations to spend time here at the University of Lahore. During their time with us, the scholars will conduct cutting-edge research and collaborative work closely with our faculty and students, producing joint publications that will contribute to the knowledge base surrounding the China-Pak economic corridor and beyond. I take this moment to congratulate you, Dr. Rabia, for this wonderful effort and all the authors who have contributed. We have been seeing how CPEC Excellency has been developing in our region. It's not just specific to Pakistan, it's all across the globe right now. And I was wondering, what is it in it for us to learn from the China experience? Where a country within 3 to 4 decades have pulled more than 800 million people out of poverty. And there must be many aspects to it, and I'm sure once this China Chair would become operational and we would be able to make more publications and research and see what is there for us to learn. There is one element, there are one or two elements that I saw and I believe are very crucial to us or to any country that wants to replicate such an experience. As it was being discussed, that something the Western world did over 200 years, Chinese have probably not only achieved that, actually have exceeded that within last 30-40 years. So there must be something that nobody else before had imagined. And I just want to pick one or two elements to it. And that is that if such a growth has to take place, the system that facilitates the stakeholders has to be most efficient. And if we believe somehow that by taking, without naming, taking that very institution which was probably designed in the colonial times for the masters to rule, that institution will have the ability to facilitate 250 million people into a progressive future. Probably we need to unlearn and then relearn and change the way we are. Because we would definitely would have to have the right leadership, the vision and the objectives, all of that has to take place. And I hope us as public and private universities can probably come up with that vision and facilitate and contribute to the national effort. But the ones who have to facilitate the stakeholders also. So I, along with the China Chair, you remember I suggested that we need to set up an institution that builds the post-colonial mindset required for the institutions. Not just bureaucracy, not just everybody, all the major stakeholders of Pakistan as a state. Whatever is left of the state and whatever we need to work together and build, rebuild, I believe that the facilitators need to start thinking differently. And probably, I'm sure there must be some things in this book to learn for. Let's send it to all the people who have to work together to create such a growth dynamic in this country. If Chinese have done it in 40 years with their support, with their brotherly support to us, let us try achieving the same at least in 40 years. Because what they've done has been magical. At the end, I want to congratulate FES, sorry. I tried spelling it, but I thought before I spell it wrong. And the country head as well, and all the people, especially we have with us Mr. Humayun Khan sir, thank you very much for contributing to such an effort. I'm very excited that this forum is coming together at University of Lahore. Dr. Rabia, your think tank, and all the people who are working with you have been doing an amazing work last many years. It was never imagined before that private sector universities get into nation building as well, unfortunately. But now we're not alone. Beacon House National University is doing even better work than us. Thank you very much. So congratulations to you and to your team, and thank you very much for all the distinguished scholars and professors, His Excellency, for joining us today. We believe that this is just a step, and with China Chair as well, let's put ourselves together to recreate that magic that our brothers did in the neighborhood. Thank you very much.
You mentioned decolonization, and the thought process is not only of bureaucracy but everybody. So I would like to take this opportunity to tell everybody that we just launched a movement in Pakistan. It's called Decolonizing Social Sciences in Pakistan. And we have shared a link of the website where we want the global community working on the decolonial thought processes in any of the disciplines to come together and do interdisciplinary research work so that we publish and we change the narrative that you so rightly talked about needs to be changed. So I invite everybody to join us, join our hands together, collaborate, write, publish, irrespective of whether anybody is listening or not. Our next generation, I think we owe it to them, this change of narrative and reclaiming the narrative basically. So thank you so much, sir. I would now like to invite our chief guest, His Excellency Mr. Zhao Shirin, Chinese Consul General, for his remarks. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. And Ambassador Shimshed, also acknowledged as former Foreign Secretary, also Chairman of the Board of Governors of the University of Lahore, Vice Chancellor Mian Ibrahim Masood, Ambassador of the former High Commissioner of Pakistan to India, Ambassador Benzu, and certainly Dr. Mui Yusuf, all the distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Even I couldn't recognize or acknowledge each and everyone's name, but my greetings and good morning or good afternoon to everyone. Actually, I believe it's not my moment. It's a moment belonging to the University of Lahore and also to the editor and book or article contributors for this wonderful book, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor Beyond 2030. And I would give my personal commendation and congratulations to these two very worthy or worthwhile endeavors. Number one is the launch, or they say relaunch, of this wonderful book, the collection of essays. And number one has been done in Harvard for the Institute of Strategic Studies. Another one is the initiative by the University of Lahore for launching the China Chair, the program or project here. So my appreciation and congratulations. Second, I would say Actually, I have been speaking on many occasions for CPEC, for China-Pakistan relations. So I believe this is not the right time and right occasion for me to speak too much. Simply to shed the light or share my view on 2 points. Number one, that at the moment, actually, China has abandoned its strategy, policy, approach to developing the country, the economy, at any cost, or development first. Because in the past 40 years, or several decades, when China carried out the reform and opening up, we really put economic growth, the enhancement of livelihood for ordinary people on our top priority. That means develop the economy first, then there will be social stability, political stability, and the sustainable growth of the country. But after 40 years, we saw that there's some challenges, difficulties. Number one is the climate change, which is definitely relevant, quite relevant with this green development of CPEC. The environmental pollution, degradation. We still put development on our radar screen, and we think development is the first or primary responsibility of the government. But that kind of development should be sustainable or sustained, and should not, at the expense of the life quality or environmental quality. That's number one. Number two, back to CPEC. I believe Pakistan or China at the moment are all at very critical moments, or at a kind of very crucial juncture. How we can move CPEC forward, either from phase 1 or from phase 2. I actually attended the panel discussion yesterday at the UNP yesterday. And they are actually kind of self-evident or obvious that CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, or China-Pakistan bilateral relationship, we have been met with two war fronts. Number one is the terrorism, or separatism, or extremism here in Pakistan. You can see from Balochistan, you can see from Pishan attack on March 26. You can see from other kind of either cross-border attacks from Afghanistan. Terrorism is the hard part of this war against Pakistan, against the CPEC, against China-Pakistan relations. We have to find the will to counter this kind of terrorist menace. Number two is the soft part of war. That's a kind of narrative, which is also quite essential, relevant to this book launch, book publication. During my actually 2 years, 3 months tenure here in Lahore as Consul General of China, I have been met with so many questions concerning CPEC. Even one, I still remember that from a student from the University of Lahore. Do you really think CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, is China-Punjab Economic Corridor? I still remember that. No, it shows something. But for us, from China's part, we do not have any preference whether CPEC is, China, Pakistan, or China, India. Definitely, we believe that this CPEC project should bring benefits in a fair manner. I mean, the distribution of benefits for CPEC should be covering all the provinces, regions of Pakistan. Non-helpful, plus GB and other geographies attached to it, right? Also, a lot of negative, even misinformation, disinformation, the fake news, social media, from even the mainstream newspapers, the stories, I may say smearing, defaming, criticizing CPEC. So there's kind of narrative, like CPEC slow down, CPEC bring pollution to Pakistan in terms of the energy sector, the coal-based power plants. Actually, under CPEC framework, the only three from China. And our government already announced we will never ever finance or manufacture or produce, set up any coal power plant in any country, including Pakistan. And also the debt check, which means the estimated projected $64 billion investment to Pakistan through CPEC. But now they actually materialized about $26 billion. For Pakistan, nothing good but the debt, or the debt check, or the debt repayment burden. So there's so many narratives which definitely are negative. So I believe that we have to do more. Not only from Chinese side, but more important from our Pakistani side. Because as I always say, CPEC, all the projects are staying in this country. And Pakistan, the government, the people, all the key stakeholders should take ownership of those projects. And I believe your governments, your people, and even including the universities and media and all the sectors should do more things to build a very positive, at least objective narrative about CPEC, to create a kind of enabling environment, conducive environment for the transition, for the further growth from CPEC 1 or phase 1 to CPEC phase 2. So I'm very happy to know before I came to this occasion this morning that Karakoram Highway, the KKH, the realignment project, which is to be provided by the Chinese government for $2 billion loan, has been approved by your cabinet. So which means this very important connectivity project will kick off very soon. And my personal wish is that the Mainline 1, as we talked so much about it, will also see a very bright future when the financing arrangements could be sought out by our two sides. Inshallah, it could be done, at least could be inaugurated at the end of this year or even early next year. So, which means another milestone for CPEC phase 2. Then we talk about Wada or some others. So that is what I want to convey, or what I want to relay my message. There are two wars here in Pakistan, targeting China-Pakistan relations, targeting CPEC, and we should do both the hard part and the soft part so as to facilitate. As for the China Chair program here in this university, this is the first time for me to visit this esteemed, higher education institution. I'm very happy to learn that, and I give my personal blessings, and I wish that China Chair program or project a great success in its future endeavors. And if anything, the university thinks that my office could do, just don't feel hesitate to reach out. So what we can do, I can give my personal promise. I will do my best. And also thank Ambassador Shen Share for his kind remark, positive comments on my performance, here in Lahore. Definitely, I'm honored, but I'm just simply doing my job. And definitely will continue to implement my duty in its due course for the betterment of China-Pakistan relations, for the friendship, and most important, for the practical cooperation and partnership, including the educational cooperation and academic exchanges. So once again, thank you so much for your time, and thank you for giving this opportunity to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for excellent remarks. And this book is just an endeavor at the China Chair at the university to make it a collective effort. It's not only on China, but as the chairman said, and also remarked, it is a collective effort, and all of us have joined here today for this collective effort to take a positive narrative forward. And it's also a matter of introspection for Pakistan as well, on our side, as to what we can contribute and bring it to fruition. So with this, I would like to thank everybody for joining us today. I would request Chairman University of Lahore to present Sudhir to His Excellency. And then we would join for a short. I was asking you earlier.
No.
Please go ahead. Sure.
Thank you.
Michael.
As usual, I have no substance to contribute, so that's why I was waiting. First of all, congratulations to you and Wes and everybody for doing what you've done. I just want to say one line. The China Chair at BNU, of course, we've got the Honorable Consul General here, we've got all of you. As with other things that we've talked about before, it's totally open for UL, others to collaborate. Ambassador Mansoor is leading the entire initiative. So let's sit down and figure out not only how we can quote-unquote collaborate, but what are the specific things we can do together to build out that, that spirit. And as I was thinking, there are things that you definitely do better than us. There may be things that we may have an advantage in. So rather than replication, let's work on our strengths, and the outcome will be much better for both of us. So just want to make sure. Thank you.